What is the current status of the most serious long-term injury setback faced by the Indiana Fever during their challenging 2025 campaign? And how is the veteran guard working toward a highly anticipated return to the court? The Indiana Fever franchise, in reviewing the totality of their 2025 Women's National Basketball Association season, must confront the reality of a campaign severely curtailed, if not entirely defined, by significant medical setbacks. The team navigated a period of intense adversity, suffering an unprecedented wave of injuries that sidelined multiple pivotal players, fundamentally altering the trajectory of their competitive year. Among the roster of essential contributors forced to the sidelines were high-profile athletes such as Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, Chloe Bibby, and the veteran presence of Sydney Colson. This accumulation of personnel losses decimated the team's depth, particularly in the backcourt rotations, demanding profound shifts in strategy and execution throughout the latter half of the schedule. The unfortunate outcome saw Cunningham, McDonald, and Colson all requiring significant surgical intervention, procedures that immediately concluded their involvement in the 2025 season and shifted the entire focus toward extensive and demanding rehabilitation protocols aimed at securing their fitness for the subsequent year. Of the substantial injuries sustained, the setback involving Sydney Colson, a respected and energetic leader within the locker room, was particularly concerning due to its severity and the timing of the event. Colson suffered a devastating torn anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, in her left knee. This injury occurred during a demanding matchup against the Phoenix Mercury on August 7th, an event that instantly injected a note of severe trepidation into the Fever organization and fanbase. An ACL tear represents one of the most complex and long-term injuries in professional sports, typically necessitating a recovery timeline stretching from 9 months to a full calendar year before a player can return to full-contact competitive activity. The necessary surgical procedure to repair the structural damage to Colson's knee was scheduled and executed swiftly, occurring nearly 2 full weeks following the initial unfortunate incident. This decisive action initiated the arduous recovery period, marking the formal end of her season and the start of a lengthy rehabilitation journey. Remarkably, despite the gravity of the surgery and the immediate discomfort associated with post-operative recovery, Colson demonstrated her signature resilience and transparency almost immediately following the procedure. In an unusual and frankly surprising display of fortitude and connection with the fans, the veteran guard utilized the social media platform Instagram Live to share an update with her followers, engaging directly with the community and even her teammates while still in the immediate aftermath of the operation. This public transparency was a testament to her determined attitude and provided an immediate, albeit slightly shocking confirmation of her status to the wider WNBA world, earning commendation from both the Fever organization and her fellow players who were deeply invested in her recovery. The intervening period since the operation has been characterized by the critical, often unseen, work of intensive physical therapy and controlled strengthening, phases essential to successfully rebuilding stability in the surgically repaired joint. Now, as the calendar turns and the WNBA off-season progresses, nearly 4 complete months have elapsed since the unfortunate setback, bringing Colson to a pivotal milestone in her rehabilitation. This 4-month mark is critically significant in ACL recovery timelines, typically signifying the transition point from purely static strengthening exercises and controlled motion drills to activities that begin to introduce dynamic movement, light lateral changes, and controlled impact. The successful navigation of this phase is crucial for establishing the foundational strength necessary before moving into more advanced, sport-specific training. In a highly anticipated update shared with the public and the Fever faithful via her official Instagram account, Sydney Colson has provided a clear indication that her extensive effort and commitment to the rehabilitation process are yielding significantly positive results. The guard officially revealed that she has progressed to a crucial and highly encouraging stage, the ability to run. This represents a monumental step forward, validating the weeks of challenging physical therapy and signaling that the structural integrity of the knee is advancing precisely as medical professionals would hope at this stage of recovery. To commemorate this significant professional achievement, Colson utilized a visually engaging and emotionally resonant approach in her social media post. She uploaded a video package that began with an immediately recognizable and culturally relevant clip taken from the iconic film Forrest Gump, specifically featuring the scene where the young titular character begins to run, shedding his restrictive braces in the process. This opening cinematic reference perfectly established the theme of overcoming physical limitations and finding speed and freedom of movement. Following this engaging clip, Colson transitioned the video into a current tangible display of her personal progress, including a short but powerful clip of herself running on a professional basketball court. This visual evidence offered the most compelling proof of her advancement to date. The caption accompanying the video was succinct yet potent, clearly delineating the timeline of her recovery for all followers. Colson wrote simply, "For months post-op," a concise statement that underscored the remarkable speed and efficacy of her physical comeback within the established medical timeframe for such a debilitating injury. The reaction from the Indiana Fever organization and her teammates was immediate, highly enthusiastic, and utterly supportive, reflecting the deep personal bonds and collective hope for her successful return to elite competition. The official Indiana Fever social media account immediately responded to the post, celebrating her progress by directly referencing the inspirational cinematic theme Coulson had employed, writing, "Go Sid Go," directly invoking the famous line from the Forrest Gump narrative, highlighting the team's shared excitement. The outpouring of support continued with several of her teammates registering their amazement at her quick return to dynamic movement. Aaliyah Boston, a cornerstone of the Fever roster, expressed her admiration for the speed Coulson was displaying even in the early stages of running, commenting with enthusiasm, "Fast as hell, acknowledging the veteran guard's quickness." Chloe Bibby, herself navigating the challenges of injury recovery and understanding the physical demands, shared her encouraging assessment, stating simply, "So speedy," further emphasizing the perception of Coulson's accelerated recovery. The strong collective morale within the team was evident in the comments, reinforcing the notion that Coulson's progress is a major boost for the entire organization as they look toward the upcoming year. Damiris Dantas, another respected international voice within the WNBA community, offered high praise and motivation, remarking, "So proud of you, Chica. LFG." Finally, Brianna Turner added a simple but powerful note of encouragement, stating, reflecting the universal excitement within the professional basketball circuit over this positive development. The highly successful progression through the initial 4 months of rehabilitation strongly suggests that Sydney Coulson is maintaining an excellent pace for achieving full fitness within the standard time frame, positioning her to be ready to return to competitive basketball activities well in advance of the start of the next WNBA regular season. This positive trajectory carries significant implications for her immediate professional future, specifically regarding her participation in the upcoming Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball competition. The WNBA veteran previously committed to joining the Athletes Unlimited Tournament, an independent competition structure designed to provide high-level professional experience during the traditional off-season period. This competition is slated to commence in February of 2026. Given the current pace of her rehabilitation and her documented ability to run at the 4-month milestone, it certainly appears highly likely that Coulson will not only be available for the Athletes Unlimited event but may utilize it as a critical, high-level testing ground for her repaired knee. This opportunity would provide invaluable game experience and competitive conditioning before the rigors of the WNBA training camps begin. Coulson is not alone among her Fever colleagues in utilizing this specific competitive platform. Other Indiana Fever players, including the experienced Odyssey Sims, the promising young talent of Bree Hall, and the aforementioned Brianna Turner, have also committed to participating in the Athletes Unlimited tournament. This collective presence ensures a degree of familiarity and intra-team competition during the winter months, offering a unique chance for these key players to build chemistry and maintain peak physical condition, regardless of the primary focus on Sydney Coulson's final return to full competitive form. The successful rehabilitation of Coulson, evidenced by this crucial running milestone, is undeniably the most encouraging medical news to emerge from the Fever organization since the tumultuous conclusion of their 2025 campaign, instilling genuine hope for a fully healthy and competitive roster moving forward. After a devastating 2025 Women's National Basketball Association campaign characterized by an unprecedented series of injuries that decimated the roster, leaving the Indiana Fever organization scrambling for depth and stability, how significant is a single update on the recovery of one of its most tenacious veteran guards? The previous season proved exceptionally challenging for the Fever, marked by the loss of several core contributors to significant physical setbacks. Key players such as Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, Chloe Bibby, and Sydney Coulson were sidelined at various points, forcing the team to navigate a gauntlet of competitive matchups with a significantly weakened rotation. For several of these athletes, namely Cunningham, McDonald, and Coulson, the severity of their respective injuries necessitated surgical intervention, definitively ending their participation in the 2025 season and shifting the organizational focus immediately toward long-term recovery and rehabilitation protocols. Among these profound losses, the injury sustained by veteran guard Sydney Coulson struck a particularly discouraging note. Coulson suffered a significant and season-ending tear to the anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, in her left knee. This unfortunate incident occurred during a hard-fought contest against the Phoenix Mercury on August 7th, a date that would mark the premature conclusion of her competitive year. The necessary operation to repair the damaged ligament was scheduled and executed nearly 2 full weeks following the injury. In a move that surprised both her teammates and a substantial segment of the fanbase, Coulson utilized social media immediately following the procedure, going live on Instagram to provide a real-time update, showcasing her characteristic resilience and positive outlook even in the immediate post-operative phase. This early display of determination set the stage for what appears to be a highly successful and structured rehabilitation trajectory. Now, approximately 4 months after undergoing the critical surgery to reconstruct her left knee, Sydney Coulson has offered a definitive and highly encouraging progress report regarding her recovery status. For professional athletes recovering from a torn ACL, the The 4-month milestone represents a crucial bridge from foundational strength training and gait retraining into the initial phases of returning to sport-specific movements. It is a period where initial jogging and controlled running are often introduced under strict physical therapy supervision, signifying that the graft is integrating well and the surrounding musculature is gaining the necessary strength to support dynamic movement. Coulson elected to share this significant achievement with fans and followers through an update posted on her official Instagram account, providing a visual confirmation of her rapid advancements in the rehabilitation process. The update was delivered in a compelling video format, leveraging a highly recognizable cultural touchstone to emphasize the magnitude of the milestone she had just achieved. The clip began with footage extracted from the iconic film, Forrest Gump, specifically featuring the poignant moment where the young protagonist commences his journey of self-liberation and movement, symbolically beginning to run. Following the cinematic preamble, Coulson seamlessly integrated a clip of herself, showcasing the tangible result of her months of intensive physical therapy and dedication. The video featured the Fever Guard running briskly and fluidly on a basketball court, executing controlled linear movement with noticeable speed and efficiency. The message accompanying this powerful visual evidence was succinct yet impactful, underscoring the achievement with a simple written declaration, "For months post-op." This statement, coupled with the visual evidence of her running ability, instantly communicated the remarkable progress she has made in what is historically a minimum 9 to 12-month recovery period for an ACL tear in elite sports. The immediate and enthusiastic response from the Indiana Fever organization and Coulson's teammates provided clear evidence of the emotional impact of this positive news within the team environment. The Indiana Fever franchise, acknowledging the cinematic reference used by Coulson, immediately reposted and celebrated her achievement, utilizing a famous line from the same film to express their encouragement and excitement. The official team account wrote simply, "Go Sid Go," echoing the widespread sentiment of hope and excitement for her pending return to competition. The response from her teammates was equally fervent and highly personalized, highlighting the depth of the camaraderie within the Fever roster that endured throughout the challenging injury-plagued season.